lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking.
Shut up, boo. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
You can't handle the truth.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good Monday morning, everybody. It is Monday all day long. It is September 22nd. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It was certainly an interesting one. Certainly an interesting weekend this weekend. Hope you're all awesome. Had a good time. I know I did. And I said I was going to take it easy this weekend. That didn't happen. So, you know what? It's just, that's life, right? You do the thing and you try to do as much as you can, and that's it. And it was a busy one. It definitely was a busy one. But there was a lot of football happening. We'll be checking in with Barry, see how he did on his picks. We'll talk about that because there's a lot to talk about there, high school football around the area, and some of the bigger news going on. But what happened to your area? What was going on with you this weekend? Did you have any luck out there finding you something fun to do, something exciting to do? Because there is a lot going on. There are lots of shops as everybody starts getting ready for the holiday season. We're in it. Look, DG already has our Christmas stuff being put out right now. That's right. Walmart putting Christmas stuff out. Of course, the biggest holiday season of the year, you're going to ahead and go start putting that out. But here's what I didn't know. And I don't know how I did not know this, but I did not. And it is still something that shocks and amazes me. First of all, let's talk about Batesville, Mississippi real quick and what they're doing down in Batesville, all the things, how that little city right there is growing and growing and growing. If you haven't been down to the square in Batesville yet, you need to go. You need to check that out. Because the square in Batesville, they've done put up, it's just such a beautiful square they're creating there. I mean, they have put a lot into it. They got all these new lighting up. The speaker system is up down there, which is incredible. I mean, just the ambiance of the square itself and what they're doing down there. Christmas ought to be a lot of fun on the Batesville Square this year, I would think. Just visually, the atmosphere of it. I love small towns and these small town squares, especially with a town who loves to really heighten or enhance and heighten how their square looks and how their town looks and really give it that. I think that's cool. I think that's awesome. And Batesville, Mississippi is really doing it up nice down there. All I did was set up my tree stand and work. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, dude. Nothing wrong with that at all. Good morning, Zen. What's up, buddy? So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Get that tree stand put up. It's that time of the year. It is definitely that time of the year. But here's what I didn't know about Batesville. We went and bought a new TV this weekend because my girlfriend just had to have one. She had to have a new TV. So we went and got a TV. And we had to pick it up in Walmart in Batesville. We thought, well, we're down here. We'll go eat. We went and ate at Chili's. And I forget how good Chili's is until I go eat there. Like, it's not a place I sit here and go, oh, I can't wait to go eat at Chili's. But we were down there. It was on that side of town. It's like, let's go eat at Chili's. We'll go eat there. And so we're sitting there and we're eating. And I sit facing the door always. All right. I don't put my back to the door. Just not how I do things. All right? I've got to see what's going on around me at all times. And that's just one of the ways I do it. I do not sit with my back to the door. Maybe I'm the only one who does that. Maybe I'm just weird like that. But, dude, I don't. I don't sit with my back to the door. So if you're looking to find me, buddy, that's what you're going to find me doing is that. Watching out that door. But while I'm looking out the door, I'm looking back towards the highway. And across the highway, I see the Academy Sports over there. And I see Hobby Lobby. Yeah. Batesville is getting both of those. And I had no idea. I just happened to look up and see the signage over there. I love Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is a very cool place to go shop. You get a lot of cool stuff in there, enhance your home, everything else. But I had no idea. I had no idea that was a thing over there. And I remember when Lowe's came, because I was one of the original workers at Lowe's over there. We had to set up that building. Literally, us workers and managers even, we had to go in there and help set up all the racks, put up all the racks. You're talking about, that's how I knew I didn't want to do construction work. That right there convinced me. If there was ever a question in my mind, if construction work was for me, that pretty much answered it. It did. It was tough. It was tough. So my hat's off to you construction workers out there. You guys who do that for a living. Jeez. And this was a mild construction work. It's not like we're walking on skyscrapers, but still. Construction work, sure. That's a job right there, buddy. And that's not that's not one that I think I'm cut out for, if we're being honest. I don't think I'm cut out for it. It was tough. It was tough. But that being said, there was nothing else over there. It was Lowe's got created right there. And now you got all these things on that side. There's a gas station over there. And now you see Academy, you see Hobby Lobby. It is wild. And I love both those stores. And now knowing that I only have to go 18 miles down the road versus going all the way into Olive Branch and South Haven and all that chaos and that traffic, sign me up for that. That was the best news of the weekend for me. It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, I get tired of going into that because people can't drive. Come on. Nobody's paying attention. How there are not more wrecks on the road, I don't know. I don't understand it. Because all you have are people holding their phones up in their faces, talking like they can do both. And somehow they managed to do it. But I think that's a numbers game, right? It's only a matter of time before your distracted driving is going to get you and get somebody else at the same time. And it's chaos. It is just chaos driving up there. And I don't have road rage except for when I get road rage. Yep. That's the only time I have it's when I get it. Other than that, I'm perfectly fine. But buddy, those, ooh, yeah, the anger will come out. The anger will come out with some of these drivers, especially when they act like you're the one that's the problem because they just realized they were almost going to hit you in the process. Wild stuff. It is definitely nice seeing locations grow and get these stores and restaurants. Yeah, and it definitely brings jobs to the area. We were talking about that very thing too, right? How, that's great because now there are more places for people to work down here. If they would just put a Buc-ee's down there, I'm going to tell you right now, I'd quit everything I'm doing and work for Buc-ee's. I would quit everything I'm doing and work for Buc-ee's. Or maybe not everything, but I quit a lot of stuff I'm doing and work for Buc-ee's. Have you seen Buc-ee's pay scale? I mean, look, I will sit there and cut up some brisket. I will sit there and serve it on your plate and put it however much you want to on there. That's a high paying job. That is an insanely high paying job. Buc-ee's takes care of their people. I mean, absolutely takes care of their people. I would love to work at Buc-ee's. I don't know about you guys. Sign me up for some Buc-ee's. I would love to go to work there. I think that would be freaking awesome. I think it would be awesome to do that. I do. Yeah. So, but the nearest Buc-ee's, I think we're getting one that's a little bit closer. The closest one to me right now that I know of is in Alabama. Yeah, I believe it's in Alabama. If we had a Buc-ee's up here, I'd dress in a beaver costume for that. I'm telling you, that's a good paying job too, dressed up in the costume. Yep. I rode rage walking in stores, but I saw people do the same way. It's like people intentionally walking slow in a grocery store. This did happen this weekend. I'm trying to get my stuff. And you got slow walkers who are just meandering with no concern for anybody else around them. Like, dude, we get it. You want to shop, but you can at least get out of the way. Pick a lane. Pick one side of the aisle or the other. Don't take up the middle of the aisle so the rest of us can't get through, because I'm going to go through you. I'm just telling you. I'm coming. So, and that happened to more than a few people who were in my way. I'm coming. I am not sitting here waiting on you. And it's funny, the expression when they see this giant behind them, right? They all of a sudden turn around, they wake up like, oh, and they get out of the way with some quickness then. But that shouldn't have to, it shouldn't have to come down to that. It should not have to come down to a giant human being shadowing you for you to go, oh, maybe I should show some awareness and just basic decency and shop on one side of the aisle or the other. I don't know why that is a difficult thing, but apparently that is difficult for some people. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my store rage too. I don't know. But it is. That's kind of crazy. Come on, just pick your lane, folks. Pick your lane. Get on one side of that aisle or the other, and let the rest of us do what we're gonna do. I'm just trying to get my stuff and get out. Like, I don't want to hang out in a grocery store. I have zero desire just to hang out in a grocery store. So move it. Slow traffic, keep right. Let the rest of us go around you. Same rules apply on the highway, right? Slow traffic, keep right. Let us get to where we're trying to go. You just want to meander around. Don't want to go back home, whatever your situation is. Okay, but let the rest of us do what we got to do. Let the rest of us do what we got to do. Because I got some cooking to do. Because I smoked a 24-hour Boston butt this weekend. Best thing I've ever done on my smoker. By far. Except for that peach cobbler, because that was good too. But this is definitely the best pork butt I've ever done. 24-hour slow cook. It was wicked delicious. Wicked delicious. It was so good. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, this world's so crazy. I don't want to linger around with these psychos coming in and out. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Dude, so Mark, I did my Boston butt on 180 so I did it on 180 for about 18, 19 hours, and then I bumped it up to 200 for the last 4. I cooked it actually 23 and a half hours is what I did. Once that internal temp got 190, then I popped it off, and man, so the bone slid straight out, and we just grabbed it and pulled it barely. That thing just fell apart. It just fell apart. It was so delicious. And yeah, Jen said that's the best thing I've ever, and I agree. It was the best one I've ever cooked. And I didn't inject it. I didn't spritz it. No, all I put was salt and pepper on it and a little garlic. Rubbed that on there. And then I put a seasoning over the top of that. And did my main seasoning over the top of that salt and pepper. And that was it. It had a beautiful smoke ring to it. That bark that it formed on there it tastes so good. It tasted great. So when I ripped it all up and I got those claws out and I started ripping and made it all come together, it was just amazing. It's an amazing taste. Because I ate me a sandwich out of it earlier. And then last night I made some nachos out of it. And Brody had come by the house and we were sitting there. I showed him. He said, oh man. And we were just sitting there you picked the meat out of the container. And it was still good. Even cooled down, it was still good. It was truly amazing at how good that was. I'm like, this may be the way I do all of my Boston butts going forward. Because it was tremendous. It was tremendous. I was shocked at how good this thing was. Because never doing it that way, and I didn't wrap it. Usually I'll wrap them and I'll let them rest for a while and all that. Just didn't have to do any of that. Straight off the smoker onto the cutting board, pull it apart, and it's time to eat. It's time to eat. So I'm going to do one with an injection. I didn't even inject this one. I usually will inject it with Tony's or something, but not this time I didn't. But next time I'll probably inject it just to see how that does, because I am curious. And with the season we're in now, like this week, I'm going to be making some banana cupcakes, right? And I may even inject and pipe a banana pudding filling inside of that banana cupcake. So I'm always experimenting with something different. The problem is I'll probably eat a couple of the cupcakes and I give the rest away. I'm giving the rest away because Brody challenged me yesterday by October 18th to see who can lose the most weight for our October 18th show. Who can lose the most weight? And the loser has to buy dinner. So I can't sit here and eat all the good stuff that I want, but I can taste it, and I can eat a bite or two. Then I have to give it away. So my friends out there, get ready. You're about to be delivered food and every other thing after I attempt to cook it. Let's see what it does. Because I have to lose at least 25 pounds. It's got to go. All right, so if y'all had to guess, how heavy do you think I am? Weight-wise, how heavy do you think I am? Realistically, what's the weight? What's the weight that you think I'll walk around of? What's my walk-around weight? So I'm telling you that. Cooking, I love to cook, though. I do. I love creating new things in the kitchen and on the smoker. I love baking more than anything. I mean, baking and grilling, that sort of thing is fun. So if there's something new there that I can try, 249, 290. Mark 2, you're closest. I am. When I weighed last night, it was 295.4. I think it was 295.4. 295.4. And I've lost weight, which tells you how thick or fat I was before. It was terrible. It was terrible. I was large. It's still large. Still large. I gotta lose some of this weight. And I didn't think, that I know I'm a big guy, but I don't realize it until people say something about it. So I've got to lose 20, 25 pounds. That's my goal. I would love to lose at least half of that, if not more, by the 18th of October, for sure. And a lot of that I could lose. But the problem is that the way I lift, my muscles will get a little denser. So that's going to offset some of the actual poundage that I lose. But still, there'll be a lot of, I got some boxing cardio I need to do to rip this up a little bit. And I got to lay off the breads. And I love bread. Bread's like my favorite thing. Bread is my favorite thing, which is why I love cakes and pies and all that good stuff. Because bread is wonderful. And I have to give that up. I got to give up my Cokes. I got to give up my sweet tea. And don't go telling me about Coke Zero. It is not the same. It doesn't taste the same. Whoever thinks Coke Zero tastes the same, you have fooled yourself. You have talked yourself into believing that because you want to believe it. But it's not true. And I am a huge fan of Mexican Coke because it's made with real sugar, not this fructose crap. And I'm having to give it up. And I'm not happy about it. I'm sad. I'm sad that I have to give that up. But health, no, nothing. If it says zero, I'm not doing it. If it says dot, not doing it. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Those drinks do not taste the same. Dude, we were off on Friday, so I didn't have to call football this Friday. I will this coming Friday. But as far as I think Barry got all of his games right that he picked for Friday. Barry picked them all right. They are. It is a tough 3 months in. It's going to be a tough 3 months out here with the holiday season coming up. But I love it. I love it. I love the holiday season. Love everything about it. Like I just happened to see this morning a picture of Vermont in the fall. I don't want to live up north. I have no desire to live up north. But when I see that, sweet baby Jesus, it is beautiful. Just beautiful. But, yeah, no, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. But, yeah, Mark, so we got to get together one night this week. Let me know what night we can do that to do these pick'em games for Thursday for the NFL of the L and get that done. Yeah, it's already started, man. Look, you see my Halloween stuff behind me. I just got my new zombie with the lantern on over here. So people, if you're listening through the Undefined Radio app, which is absolutely free, and we appreciate it, our numbers on the Undefined Radio app are getting crazy. And that's because you guys, we appreciate it. Thanks for getting the word out about that, because this app is starting to take off again now. But yeah, you see, I already got my stuff. I got my, thing is over here. Got my zombie with the lantern. I hadn't turned the lantern on, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I can turn the lantern on. So if you want to see the show and be a part of the show, all you got to do is go to Undefined Radio on Facebook. And you can be a part of it like everybody else is right now. Yeah. So, yeah, it turned out pretty cool. It turned out pretty cool. I had this elaborate setup I was really going to do this morning. I'm always looking for new software to make my stuff better, make my streams better, all of that. And it worked fine. Then I reset everything, make sure everything was functioning, and it wouldn't function. So after this show's over, I'll have to go back and see because it really looked cool the way I was going to do it. Learning how to tie my iPhone into my other stuff and this particular software was important. But we'll see. We'll see. That's what I'm saying. It's beautiful seeing those fall colors. I've got stupid pine trees around me. I do. I hate pine trees. Well, let me say this. I don't hate pine trees when I'm hunting. And that's on property that I'm hunting on. That's fine. I don't like pine trees around my house. Because of all the garbage that comes with it. Ticks, fleas, they hold all that stuff. All's in, I make a great pumpkin pie. So right now in my refrigerator, we made there's a chocolate chip. It's a pumpkin pie chocolate chip cookie dough that's about to be baked this afternoon. We let it set overnight, cool overnight. Yeah. And I do like my apple pie. I'm going to try an apple pie completely from scratch. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to try it. See how that works. I am going to attempt that. But I did my peach cobbler. When I smoked that peach cobbler, it was completely from scratch. And it was so good. But I am going to try an apple pie without the pie bit, without that canned pie. I'm going to try it completely from scratch. See how it goes. I love apple pie. I do. Love good pumpkin pie also. I mean, I used to hate pumpkin pie because it used to be awful. I guess it was the way it was made. And people, I don't like ginger. I'm not a fan of ginger. So I don't put ginger in my pumpkin pie. I'm all for substituting things. And I put allspice instead of ginger in it. And it makes all the difference to me. All the difference. All the difference in the world. But how was y'all's weekend? I watched yesterday. I spent all day long watching the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I did. All day long. It was 9 hours total from when they started. I think from when the speaker started, it was like 5 hours. But it was wild. It was wild. It was fun. It was sad. And it was a little tragic, a little heartbreaking. And I wonder if I can play y'all this clip. Let me see if I can play y'all this clip. I did smoke a pumpkin pie. I used to bake my pumpkin pies. Then I started smoking one, and it was good. But you got to love that smoked flavor, or you're not going to like it. Yeah, I posted it the other day. I did smoke a pumpkin pie. But let me see if I can play this for you guys real quick here. Because this was the most emotional moment of the entire thing. This right here. Check it out.
That young man. That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Yeah, that moment right there, that was tough. When Erica Kirk said she forgave her husband's shooter, there were no dry eyes in that place. There wasn't a dry eye in the studio, I can tell you that. And it wasn't the dust, it was just, I wished I could have that kind of compassion, that kind of, it lets you know how weak your faith is when you see somebody who has a faith that strong. And Erica Kirk's faith, strong. Just like Charles, it was super emotional. Super emotional. It tore me up. I'm not gonna lie. And there were some powerful speeches in there. Marco Rubio's was powerful. I thought Don Jr. was one of the best speakers of the day as well. Tucker Carlson's was good. Tulsi's was good. Pete's was good. I mean, there were so many good ones. Don Jr. doing an impersonation of his dad was terrific. That was funny. And of course, Trump was funny. He was great. It was such a good deal. And he brought Erica back out on the stage with him at the end of it. Was another beautiful moment. Just an absolutely beautiful moment. And I sat there and watched that whole thing yesterday. Like, I didn't intend to. I knew I wanted to watch it. I felt I needed to watch it. And it did not disappoint. It was terrific. It was incredible. That whole thing was incredible. It was it was tough. It was tough. That whole deal. Especially because you see it. You don't see a rallying cry for violence. You don't see a rallying cry for hate. It's actually the opposite. Actually, the opposite. And if you can't get through that, I don't understand how you can look down on that. But there are people who are gonna. There are definitely people who are going to look down on that and go, they're talking evil, vile stuff. I saw that this morning too, which is a lie, but it lets you know how people are. It just lets you know how some people are. There's nothing you can do about it, but pray for those people. Just as I pray for all of you guys. And I think it's awesome, especially you guys who are sticking with me early and getting this show off the ground. It's been fun. I'm just excited about getting up and coming and doing the show this morning, as I have been every morning since we started it. Of course, we had a new look back here. Still got more to add to the background area. Definitely got to clean that monitor off back there. So I was going to build a picture frame around it. So it's like it's looking outside, but it didn't frame up like I wanted it to. I suppose if I put myself all the way back to the thing, it would have worked, but I didn't. Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Yeah, that's right, Barry. Absolutely. And so that whole memorial was emotional. Listening to him and listening to Erica. And I heard some comments about Erica when she gave her speech 2 days after Charlie had passed. And that was a planned thing, right? They had a plan for if something happened to him because they've talked about it. Their whole team has talked about that. with all the death threats that they get that most people didn't even know about. All right. I mean, and so people say she came off sounding like her sorrow wasn't sincere, which, first of all, not everybody who gets on a mic is going to be a polished speaker. Their emotions always come out as one thing or the other. Like you've seen actors and bad actors, and why do you think certain people are called in the actual acting world? You come across, oh, that actor's not so good. Why is that? It's because some people can't convey a natural. It doesn't sound like it's natural. That's just usually how they process their emotions and how they come out. So I didn't see that as her. I just saw that as that's how expressive she is. When she expresses herself, that's how it is. And we're all different like that. So I didn't get that. And yesterday was just more proof of that. Just a very honest and forthright showing of emotion by her. And Trump bringing her out at the end was emotional, especially the way she latched on to him. The hundreds of thousands of people that were there, that stadium and the stadium next door, that is wild. That is wild. And I can't remember. I honestly can't remember of any important figure in my lifetime passing away that I've sat there and watched their memorial. People are going to say, well, yeah, but YouTube now, it's not. No, because they used to put memorials on television back when you could almost trust journalism. They would put these memorials on TV. The only thing I can equate it to is I remember when Elvis passed away, I was 7. Just turned 7. And I do remember that being on all day long and all the funeral and all of that being shown all day long and sitting there watching it with my mother. It's one of my earliest memories I have that I can remember with clarity was watching Elvis's funeral and being impacted by it because of how much he meant to my mom and to me because I was a huge Elvis fan because of my mother. So watching those things then, that's the only thing I can equate this to. Like I knew I was going to watch it. And it's amazing the impact that Charlie Kirk had on so many people. I've heard from so many people who I wouldn't have thought, who are like, this is just, it was hard to process and get over because you're not really talking a politician. Yes, he was in the political sphere, but he's not really a politician. Like he's not in office. He just talked for a living. That's what he did. He didn't hurt nobody. He didn't round anybody up. He didn't do any of that stuff. And even debating, he was the kindest soul. Very respectful, even when people were not respectful to him. Like one of the most respectful dudes. So you felt like Charlie was you. You did. You felt like I could be this guy if I was strong enough in my faith like him. And I haven't met anybody who has as strong in their faith truly in a wide open scale, unapologetically as Charlie Kirk. Show me one. Don't point to these TV evangelists because that's not true. We know their story. I haven't met the person. And when you have other pastors coming out saying that man right there was truly a man of faith, that should tell you everything. I mean, we don't usually get to see a man of faith in our lifetime like this. People are going to say, well, he debated people. Of course he did. What do you think Jesus did? What do you think Jesus did? You think Jesus just walked through the desert singing Kumbaya? He talked to people, explained to people. They would tell him their differences, and he would tell him the way that it should be. His father's message. What do you think Charlie Kirk was doing? He took up that mantle. He took up that cross. And it was impressive. Because I don't know truly how many people do you know could actually do that, especially today, in today's society? Who do you know that could do that, that would do that? And I know some great people, some absolute great human beings that I know I don't measure up to, but even they would struggle to do what Charlie Kirk has done. And I think that's why he resonated with so many people. You know, especially with all the lies that happened about it, all the slander that happens about Charlie Kirk, that he was a racist, he was all these things, that he wasn't. I mean, he created a Black Lives event. One of his best buddies, Brandon Tatum, he helped him with Brexit, all the stuff. Candace Owens. Dude wasn't racist. He was a man of God and wanted everybody to be seen for the color of their character. That content of their character was everything. Not the skin tone, not the melanin. Nobody cared about. He didn't care about that. He cared about your character, which is all I've ever said about people. I want people around me with good character. I don't care how you look, but your character should speak everything. But people today are so fascinated and live in this victim Olympics that it has to be about race or sex or something like that. And that is a terrible way to go through your life. I saw a young black lady this morning. She's like, you know what is tiring? Going to family events, Thanksgiving and Christmas. She said that all they do is talk about white people. All they do, she said, it's so tiring. Like, can't we just talk about Jesus? She said, because you know, the white people aren't sitting at their gatherings just talking about black people or Mexican people or Asian people. They're there joining each other's company, singing songs, watching sports, doing what they do. And that would be, that's a heck of a thing. To have to sit there and be so victimized like that, that's all you think about when there's so many good things out there. If you just let all that go and just strive to be the best person you can be and not worry about all this other ancillary garbage that they tell you should worry about. I mean, it's wild. It is wild. But I think we're at a definitely turning point, no pun intended, in our country. And you have to make choices. People have to make choices. You can't just sit on the sidelines anymore and hope it gets better. You're going to have to make a choice. That's not, and the left chooses violence. And that's not everybody. You can't use all-encompassing words like that. But there's a huge section of them that do. And on the right, you don't see the burning of the buildings, the destruction of neighborhoods. You just don't see the same kind of violence. It's not like that. And why? Because there's money in chaos. Legacy media knows this. The sponsors behind the legacy media know this. And so if we're all coming together, where's the money in that for them? Because today we're supposed to get news on autism. I was shocked Trump spilled that yesterday. But imagine if they could find this cure already for autism, or at least help these families with autism, and maybe get that number down. It's like 1 in 12 boys will have autism. That is wild. Growing up, you never heard that. Autism was like this fantastical notion. Nobody really could seem to. It's like, what are you talking about? What is that? So much so they're making movies about people with autism. Like, this is a very rare and strange thing. But now they're saying Tylenol is one of the big culprits of it, taking that during pregnancy. I mean, but what else is causing this, right? What else is in our food, in our medications that we're taking that cause that? And I love that we're getting to the bottom of this. You may not like the current administration. That's fine. That's on you. I do. I do because we're getting stuff done. Stuff like this. I love we're getting high fructose corn syrups and stuff like that. That garbage out of our food. I remember when a Twinkie tasted great. I used to love Twinkies as a child. They are nowhere near the same taste now. And I've already expressed my opinion on Coke. Coke is not Coke. Mexican Coke is Coke because they use pure cane sugar. They don't use fructose corn syrup. And it's wild. It's wild. Oh, yeah, Tom, different. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we're getting to the bottom of things. And why would you not want that? Some people just love living their life in chaos, folks. They do. They love to live their life chaotically. I don't get the mindset. All these people look so unhappy. They just look so unhappy. I don't understand that part. Why would you want to live as an unhappy human being? Just always miserable. Like nothing makes you happy. Like you have nothing going on for you except more misery. That makes no sense to me. That makes zero sense to me of why we would do that. And yet, that's what's happening. That right there is what's happening, and I don't get it. I do not get it. It's that to me is the height of stupidity. Is why that sort of thing is what we choose to put up with and do. I mean, am I the only one who thinks so? It's folks, we gotta make a decision. We have got to make a decision on what we're doing. We got to make a decision on what we're doing. We can't keep doing the same things. We can't. Can't keep doing these same things expecting something different to happen. And it seems like that's what we're doing. It seems like that is what we are doing. And I think that that's the worst thing we can actually do. I think it's the worst thing we could actually do. But we're doing it. We're certainly doing a good job of making a mess of every single thing we can try to find to make a mess with. We do. And that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. What do you guys think? What do you think? It's definitely why I'm a Cowboy fan, Zen. It's definitely why I'm a Cowboy fan. I said there, started looking at that game yesterday. I'm like, nope, I'm not dealing this misery. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Those 3 Super Bowls we won in the 90s, that 3 out of 4, we paid for those. Jerry must have sold his soul or something for those. Because 3 decades later, not even sniffing one. Bad juju. It's bad juju. Take a listen. Baseball Civitan Radio Day is here. Civitan Radio Day is November 22nd this year from 8 to 2 p.m. live on Undefined Radio and Q105 FM. Radio Day is the Baseball Civitan's main yearly fundraiser. Civitan Radio Day funds the Birmingham Children's Hospital, the Grace Place, and needy individuals in our area who need a hand up. Most every business in baseball buys as it gives auction items to support Radio Day. Make sure yours is one of those as it goes to a great cause. It is the fastest 6 hours you've ever experienced on radio. Tune in and place your bids live November 22nd. Yep, Baseball Civitan Radio Day is coming to Undefined Radio in November. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you've never done a live auction before, this is going to be one to be a part of. It'll be a lot of fun. You can watch us on Undefined Radio. You can listen through the Undefined Radio app. And what we'll do is we'll have our big board with our big items on there. And and we'll have a bunch of little smaller boards that we'll do in blocks, and we'll be auctioning stuff off. This is the Baseball Civitane's largest fundraiser of the year, and they do so much for children and families. I'm excited to be a part of it this year, to be down there amongst them operating things. It's going to be fun. A little nerve-wracking probably, because it is chaos. Usually I'm here in the safety of my studio watching, making sure everything's cool on this end of it. But this year we're jumping into the fray. This year we're jumping right into the fray. So it's going to be cool. So if you got things you would love to donate to Baseball Civitane Radio Day, please reach out so we can get those to them. They have all kinds of things. People donate all kinds of stuff. The big ticket item, usually one of the biggest ticket items they have, is a bushel of sweet potatoes. I say it's a bushel, maybe more than that. I don't know how big a bushel is. That just sounds like a cool word. But it's a big old huge sack of baked potatoes. It's a lot of baked potatoes. Not baked potatoes, sweet potatoes. I got baked potatoes on the brain. Yeah, sweet potatoes. And that's the one. It's amazing to see. Hefner Motors usually wins that one because they bid and they donate, and it's just fun. And they do all of it for the children. And that's awesome. That's really where it's at, is the fact that they're doing that, right? They're helping out. They're helping out these kids, and it is cool. It is cool what they're doing right there. So stay tuned. We'll be promoting that more and more as November gets here. It will be cool. No, dude, I ain't trying to read Hill County right now. I have somebody else do that. Eventually, when things slow down, I'll probably do my own version of it. But my God, it takes so long. Because if you've never tried to do any audio things like that, like, you have to be perfect. If you mess up, you got to do it all again. So luckily you do it one chapter at a time. There's a lot that goes on in that one chapter, and then you have to edit it, and it's a chore, especially with a book that big. Like when you have to see these audio books on Audible, a lot of those books are edited and uploaded by a team, right? These guys go in a sound booth and they're just going, and people are editing stuff on the fly doing it. So it's easier. You just show up and read. Unfortunately, for us smaller guys, we don't get that luxury, and it becomes a challenge. One eventually I'll take on. Don't get me wrong, but not anytime soon. I'd be lying if I said anytime soon. Good news today. It's outside of the showers. We actually need some rain though. It's going to be a high of 84, low of 71 in our area. Tuesday is going to be a high 85 with AM thunderstorms, and Wednesday, a high of 78. Let's go Wednesday. Scattered thunderstorms. Thursday will be partly cloudy, high 78. Friday is going to be a high of 82. That's great because we're calling football Friday night as we go to, I believe it's, oh my God, where are we going Friday night? I don't even know. I better look this up. I've been so on the ball about this other stuff. I better look it up, find out where I'm going. I believe we're going to Winona. Friday night is where we're going. But I'll get that to you. I'll talk about that tomorrow as we get this weekend progressing. We will definitely be talking about that. But I don't even know world. And then getting back to some other news. I mean, because this Charlie Kirk thing's been everywhere. See what comes out of the news this week. I don't know what else happened this weekend. You know, we've had the National Guard's coming to Memphis. That's the rumor. So I can't wait to see that. See what happens with it, especially. Because that always killed me about Memphis. These dudes go somewhere and say, we don't need any help up here. Really? Really? Because that's not what your citizens are saying. That's not what your citizens are saying. That's not what everybody sees. You got this beautiful historic Beale Street in Memphis. So much history. And it's a gorgeous place, and it can be. But you let the thugs take it over. You let the crime take this over. You hamstring your police department. And you just let the crime go free. And they act like they haven't done that. But they've absolutely done that. And it's terrible. But it's exactly what they've done down there. And it's an awful thing. All right. With that being said, I found one from Michael Bates I want to play you guys. So I love this one. It's about being neighborly. Check it out. Let me know what y'all think about it.
Hey, good morning to you, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to our program today. Hope that it is of great benefit to us all as we think about some spiritual matters each day. One of the things that I remember growing up as a child was Mr. Rogers coming on television. And he'd be singing a song in the beginning, and he would always ask, "Won't you be my neighbor?" Well, that was a pretty hot topic in the days of Jesus. Jesus taught us how we're supposed to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. In many ways, in teaching, he taught us how we were supposed to treat our neighbor in love. Even the wonderful story of the Good Samaritan was given by Jesus as an explanation, an illustration, how it is that we ought to love our neighbor and how that's demonstrated regardless of who that person is. And it's not just a matter of those you like who are your neighbor. You can't be selective in that respect, but we are simply to love our neighbor and to be good to each one we come across. And so today, you may want to answer that question, won't you be my neighbor? But really the way Jesus would turn it around, how neighborly are you? Are you the kind of neighbor someone would desire to have? Are you the kind of person in this world that will be a blessing when people run into you from day to day? How neighborly am I behaving toward those that I share this world with? And we hope that we'll learn to be more like Jesus and certainly put those others in a great, great state of thought and prayer as we live each day. Won't you be my neighbor? And how neighborly will I be? Thank you for listening today. I'm Michael Bates. Hey, good morning.
Michael Bates is awesome. He really is. And what good messaging he has. I love playing those short clips for y'all because I have a ton of them that he's recorded for us to share with you guys. And those are brought to us by our great sponsors, Panola Paper Company, TVI Fiber, First Security Bank, and Wells Funeral Home. Couldn't do this without our great sponsors. If you would like to sponsor Undefined Radio, the Undefined Voices, reach out to us. We would love to have you. Sponsorships are cheap. We don't charge an arm and a leg, and it's a great reach. You see people on here interacting with it. And on our Undefined Radio app, it's amazing how many people we're reaching out to there. On the Undefined Radio app, this thing is growing and growing and growing, and we're going to keep it growing. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. Any ideas y'all have for topics, shows, you want to be on the show, you want to be a part of the show, I don't care what it's to talk about. We can set that up. We don't have to do it live here. We can record it in the evening times or whenever it's good for you, and I can play it during the show. I would love to do all of that. All of that to me is a great time. And I think it's something we should do because who knows what your hobby, your business, your vocation, or your passion is. If that's something you want to share with the world, we give you the platform to do that right here. That's right, right here. You get the platform to do that because everybody has one. Everybody has things they love to do. You do. For those of you who follow me, you see all of my passions, whether it's wrestling or writing. You see right here behind me with that novel and the new one that's coming out soon that I'm anxious to share with you guys. Whether it's podcasting, talking about things, whatever it is. I have tons of passions. I have tons of things I love to do. So I know I'm not the only one. So if you want to talk about them, introduce the world to them, or just talk to me about them, we can do that. And we can set it up. We get out there for our people to hear, for our audience to hear. And I would hope that you do that because it's awesome. It is awesome. And we do have a good time doing it. I certainly have a good time doing it. But we are getting with some people out. So this week I have something I got to record, and we'll bring those to you. On Fridays, we're definitely doing our high school picks with Barry Perkins. On Thursdays, I'll be bringing you NFL picks with me and Mark Manley, picking that. So how long does the story stir inside me before I write it? That's a great question. It depends. I mean, some of these I've had for a long time, but Hale County had kind of overshadowed everything for me. And I knew I needed to get Hale County done. And so as I started writing big on Hale County again, these other stories started popping up I'd long put on the back burner. And they just started coming out. I got so many books out right now. And this new one, though, is something I've been wanting to write for years, for like 20 plus years. And because of the success of Hale County and getting it done, gave me the courage to write this current one I'm doing. And I absolutely love it. Now, people, when they hear it's a young adult, and I'll think, oh my God, that's for kids. No. Harry Potter is technically a young adult novel in a series. My daughter and my son are the ones leaving their book over at my house one day, the second one. I should have read the second Harry Potter book before I read anything. And it was that book that got me into the entire series. So I'll go back and read the first one. Now, of course, I'm one of those guys waiting, pre-ordering my books, getting ready for the next one. And this story that I'm writing is a young adult novel in that vein. So you don't have to be young to enjoy it. It deals with more teenage themes, of course, and young adult themes, as far as that's where it takes place at, but deals with things we can all relate to. And it brings you into that whimsical nature from your childhood if you're an older reader, as I'm an older writer. But I remember those times, those magical times. And so this book is a lot like that. It's a big book like Hale County. Like there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it. I'm very proud of it. And I'm still editing it. We're going to release it in October. We're going to do a big book signing in October. We're going to do a big launch period in October. My goal with this new book is to push it up the Amazon bestseller list. I learned a lot from the failure of Hale County, of how many people didn't read it, didn't buy it, didn't look at it. My failure of marketing on that one, and how to do it, because I was just so excited about putting it out there. I didn't do it right. With this one, I am looking forward to doing it. I'm looking so forward to the launch of this book and how it's going to be received. I hope it's received well. I've had a couple of proofreaders proofreading it for me. They've loved it, which is a good sign. They certainly helped me out when it comes to looking at things that I missed on the first draft of it, which is what rewriting is for, right? So all my editing and rewriting now have enhanced the book, which I'm excited about too. So I'm looking forward to it. I love your unique characters. You can bring them to life with the cool, so I appreciate it. I'm a very visual writer. Like I don't write for words. I don't write to show you what words I know. I don't. I'm not one of these people like, oh, I know this cool word. Let me throw it in here. I write visually because that's how I see the world visually. I've already played this book out as a movie in my head. It's the same way with Hale County. I've already played that book out in my head as a movie. When I write, that's how I write. As if it's playing out before my eyes. That's how I do it. So I hope y'all enjoy that when it happens. There'll be more news of that coming up. As it is right now, thank you guys so much and gals for tuning in this morning for another edition of Undefined Voices. We'll be back tomorrow morning and every morning at 8 a.m. right here on Undefined Radio. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on the free Undefined Radio app and listen wherever you are. If there are any shows you want us to produce, let me know. We'll try to make it happen. If you want to do a show on Undefined Radio, let me know. I'll walk you through doing that. I'll hold your hand through the process and we'll make it happen. But all you got to do is reach out. Folks, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for listening this morning. And, yeah, I will see you guys again tomorrow morning right here. Be safe. Until then, love to you all.
I don't want to tell them what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking.
Shut up, boo. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
You can't handle the truth. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You lose. Good day, sir.